you'll come grab a seat up front. Everyone else's seats, if y'all would like to sit down.
Yeah, we should put you in the yellow chair.
Where do I need to be? Right here. Take the abuse. I would expect nothing else. Okay. Oh, this is going to be bad. We would like to welcome everyone here today for Larry's retirement celebration. And before we start, I have a public service announcement. Mr. Jaime Roman, actually, Jaime, you're going to give a few words before our public service.
Very few.
Okay, go ahead.
My name is Jaime Roman, and Larry Malota and I have worked together for, and I can't believe this, 28 years.
Started as teenagers, right?
Yeah. Well, I did. The few words that I want to share is that I owe a lot to Larry Malota in my professional career. He gave me an opportunity. I took it. He's been a mentor to me, a friend, almost like the brother I didn't have. I do have brothers that I had, but he's the one I didn't have. And seriously though, working for Larry, the amount of effort that he puts into things and the example that he's shown to everybody that has worked with him, you just don't want to disappoint Larry. And you want to do well so that he does well. And I want to thank you for everything you did for me in these 28 years. I hope you have a good time in Georgia, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, before we start the next piece, I have a public service announcement. Mr. Jaime Roman will help me with this. Okay, welcome. This is your public service announcement.
Tengo un anuncio de servicio público. Yo quería un papel más importante en esta presentación de hoy, pero esto es todo lo que me dieron.
Very good. For the next segment of our presentation,
Para el próximo segmento de nuestra presentación,
the Employee Services Office has been contacted and special considerations were made with Gibbs Hotel and Mike Caudle.
yo tengo un lápiz. Mi lápiz es amarillo. La oficina de servicios de los empleados han sido contactadas y consideraciones especiales se hicieron con Gibbs Hotel Mickey Mouse.
For the next few minutes of our presentation, all rules of ouch have been suspended.
Por los próximos minutos, más o menos como 30 minutos, todas las reglas de ouch serán suspendidas porque ouch no sirve para nada, nadie quiere hacer nada de ouch.
Thank you.
Okay, howdy.
Howdy!
My name is Kara Worsika, and I work in the Enterprise Information System offices. And I met Larry Malota 17 years ago, and I begged and begged, right?
This is true.
Begged you for a job. And he finally said yes, and he's regretted it ever since. I mean, cherished it ever since.
And my name is Terry Krochik. I work with EIS, and I was tasked with keeping Kara from speaking, and I did not do a very good job. So,
Okay.
you're up.
I'm not nervous. Okay. Oh, I'm still on the front page here. Okay, as a struggling young programmer and speaker, I interviewed for the opening. I thought I already just did this.
No. Did you? Okay.
It went so smoothly in rehearsal.
So, Larry did hire Kara, and he's cherished every minute of it. I, too, was a young, ambitious A&M graduate and needed a job, and I was eager to make a difference. So Larry Malota hired me in 1993, almost 18 years ago. Amazing. And in my first 2 months working for Sims, I gathered over 65% of CPU on the mainframe, bringing Sims down. And I backed out every piece of financial aid for every student at A&M. And I ran a production dictionary during the middle of the day. If you don't know what that means, it's a bad thing. Somehow I too made it through my 6-month probation.
Okay, in the early 80s, before I was around, I guess there was a man named Cade Adams and Steve Williams that hired you. Is this true?
Well, Steve Williams was the guy I need to thank for hiring me
It's
back
not
in
your
those.
turn yet, Larry.
No, sorry.
Okay, Stephen Cade. You know the boss, right? Okay, Stephen, Larry gave them an opportunity. They saw major potential in Larry Malota. So they gave him a chance to work with Bob Lacey, Bill Lay, Don Carter, Willis Ritchie, Don Gardner, Rick Crow, Taft Benson, and Bob Pawanka. And Steve told him, you can have it. With a Sims client like that, doesn't it sound more like a police lineup?
You know Carter's coming up next. So, Larry met his beautiful wife Cindy while working at CIS, and it was love at first sight. Larry fell hard.
That's what she said.
Larry fell hard for Cindy because, you know, do you realize how hard it is to find someone that can count in binary?
All right. And Steve Williams had it right. When Sims came live, it was crazy. The first time, I think, when you had voice registration, the first semester, right? Do you remember this?
Unfortunately,
They brought down all of 911 in the Brazos County. So therefore, the meetings across campus started.
Voice registration was just beginning as Y2K quickly approached. Did Larry waver? Not one bit. He stood behind every one of us as programmers. He showed his trust in us by purchasing a bomb shelter in Wyoming from December 29th through January 2nd, 2000.
Larry has made it through all the unloads, the reloads. We delete data sets sometimes, and all exciting stuff that us programmers do to make Larry look good across the university community. But Larry stood taller than Gib through it all.
A long time before Google was even a company, and the internet was invented by Al Gore, Larry Malota was a pioneer of creative management of technical staffs. Little did he know his staff's creativity would include Mardi Gras parades through Teague and Kane, annual chili cook-offs, football breaks during fire drills, Halloween costumes including Pirates and RuPaul, the Billy Barty conference room, a softball game against the Office of Financial Aid, and the infamous seasonal Christmas tree still glowing bright in the EIS offices today.
Yes, and to keep up with the creativity of Sims, you know, Don Carter had a flyover. Dan Galvin had the singing cadets. And Larry Malota,
We give you
the
the infamous Sim salute. Larry is known throughout IT on campus for his positive attitude. Such great Larryisms include, it's not rocket science, guys. I don't fully appreciate what you're saying.
that's good.
Have I got an opportunity for you? Trust me, Pierce, This change will be transparent to our users. No matter who the client is, it'll only take 2 weeks. I don't think you should get a raise just because you didn't get fired between evaluations. And our all-time favorite.
Larry, you know, it's not all fun and games. There was a loss of a very dear and close friend. The Sims pager. It was his confidant and his companion, and the Ford Ranger had other plans. So we did get through that, right, Larry? But all of Sims felt the loss.
All of Sims felt the loss, and production control never, ever again got to beep you at midnight. We pause now for Sims. Okay. Some have asked where Larry gets his strength and fortitude. Samson got his strength from his hair. With Larry, we know that. Superman got his strength from the sun and his Kryptonian skin. Larry Malota, our best guess, is his yellow office chair. As a parting gift, we offered to have it reupholstered in Georgia red, but Larry refused.
At user conferences across the country, universities like Texas, Michigan, Ohio State, and Arkansas, I guess Arkansas is more like a junior college. Larry, to say, many great universities have marveled at your work. Larry was able to perform with a staff half the size of most. In fact, it isn't our staff that was small in comparison, it's that you took 14 people and we just filled in the gaps.
Larry's staff was lovingly referred to by the production control area as Sims Rats. Little did they know that RATS was an internal acronym Larry used often to reference us. RATS stands for Reliable and Technical Savvy. With the data conversion and implementation of the new banner system, many felt that the Sims Rats would be exterminated. But much like roaches, Sims Rats can survive nuclear holocaust. The Rats soon evolved and increased in numbers with new hires for EIS, and we became the Enterprise Information Experts in Order, or how Larry refers to us as EIEIOs.
Larry's great service has not been overlooked. He is the winner of the past President Meritorious Service Award. And wait, so am I. Fortunately, back then, with Mobley, you had hair, so the picture looked really good. And this is before the outage of OCOM.
Larry received a Vanguard Award from SunGuard SET for his work on developing their degree audit system. SunGuard made millions. Larry got a real nice plug.
But seriously, Larry truly has a great quote from, The Office. Have you seen it yet? From Michael Scott. Larry doesn't just hire and fire. Larry hires and inspires. If there was a... Yeah, this is the nice part.
Oh,
Wasn't ready for that.
In Kratz, I'm going to win the bet. If there was a wedding, Larry was there. If there was a funeral, Larry was there. If there was a birth, he helped us celebrate the birth of a new baby. Larry was more than a coworker, he was a friend, and he was like a father to me. And I thank him so much for the training that he's taught me. I've never met anybody so excited about work in my life. And you've been an excellent role model.
What more can we say about a guy that's already a legend? The accomplishments of Larry Malota are evident throughout the history of the student information system at Texas A&M. The legacy of Larry Malota can hardly be described in words. To even attempt to describe him, we would have to use words like loyal, steadfast, trustworthy, honest, dedicated, dependable, ethical, and hardworking. In our words, he was not only a boss, but a friend, the best.
Working at the enterprise information system isn't as easy as it always looks. Believe it or not, we make mistakes and we have angry customers and negative feedback and some press along the way. Rarely do we get praise for the great things that we do or other people do. Larry stood by us through it all and led us to be better programmers, better people to our clients, the student, faculty, and staff. And he's led us to be better people to our family and friends. And I'll be there, there's a lot more we could say, Larry, but I'm sure these people are ready to eat and go home. So, and we have a lot more speakers. So we would like to present you with 2 gifts. Here's this is from all of EIS, the Dilbert calendar, and they've put their birthdays in here for you so you can send them. And they all said they prefer cash. And then here, since Cindy will have a honey-do list for you, I'm sure, here is a gift card to Home Depot. Callie Angel has a few remarks from Galveston.
That is a very hard act to follow. I'm not nearly as funny, so I'll keep it short. Your presence has been felt here in College Station, but it's also been felt in Galveston as well. Everything from Sim's support to crazy requests like, oh my gosh, if you don't have this report, please run it for us in Sims, to IC relocation and your support of our campus. With Donna, with Steve, with Bob, and now finally with me, I've had the pleasure of working with you for 5 years on EIS as the liaison. And Lord knows I came in knowing nothing, and I think I have grown as a professional underneath your mentorship.
Thank you very much.
And now Mr. Carter has a few remarks.
Pay back his heck, right? I know.
No, I think Carrie and Terry did a good job.
Yes, sir. Punishment continues.
I don't know where to start. I met Larry about 30 years ago when we started the Sims project. And he undoubtedly has been one of my greatest supporters in my office. He has done more, in my opinion, for our university than any other one individual. Larry, of course, when I first met him, he had hair. I did too, a lot more. There never was a situation, and I've had a lot of them come up, where administrators call at the last minute and they need something for the Board of Regents or for the Legislative Budget Board or something that they need right then. And it's never fails when I call Larry and tell him what's going on. He has a sense of urgency to know that one thing, I don't call him unless I really need him. But the point is, he is a role model that all of y'all should pattern yourself after. He realizes that the work that most of us in this office, most of y'all, I'm retired now, excuse me. Most of y'all do is service to our faculty and students at this university. And he's always had that vision. He's always known that. And a lot of the successes that my office has experienced over the 30 years that I've known him, Larry Malota's behind it, and he and his team. And I cannot tell you how much it has meant to me personally, and I know how much it's meant to my university. You know, I've said many times that this university is large enough that if any one individual leaves, it will continue to run. And it will continue to run when Larry leaves, but it will burp, I can tell you that. He's a good man. I've treasured our friendship, and that's all I'm going to say.
Mr. Carter used to call and say, "Where's the boy?" And that meant, "Run, get him." And now Dr. Ray James has a few remarks.
Thanks. I guess I was roped into this because I maybe exceeded my privilege in calling on Larry. Too many things. I didn't realize that was the case until I was trying to decide what to talk about, and was told that sometimes when I call over and ask for something, they say, they refer to Larry as my pocket programmer. I seem to think I own it. But I always, whenever I needed something, got very professional and quick results from Larry, and it was a pleasure to get such a professional response and such accurate data. One project, I guess, is worth mentioning because it meant a lot to us, and it has to do with the era when Nomad went away. We had this big, expensive database system called Nomad, and I think it had one user on campus. And so when it was announced that Nomad was going away, that one user got real nervous, and that was me. And so I went over and did, with the appropriate amount of pounding on Jaime Roman's desk, managed to convince him, actually he convinced pretty quickly, that he would give me all the data that I was used to getting, and I think Larry delivered all this stuff. It turned out that the request I asked for turned into what we call today the so-called dean's file, which is distributed to each college dean, and it's a file that has a list of all the students enrolled and a lot of information about each student, and there's another file that goes with it that has their academic history. So it allowed me to build my own database that duplicated what used to be Nomad. So I was happily using that, but that file continues to be very valuable today, even after it's been made obsolete, even after we don't have access to Argos, which is a great thing. Not a single AOC Dean's meeting goes by that somebody doesn't mention the Dean's data file as a solution to some data problem that we're talking about there. So it's something that we'll probably keep using for a long time. And we thank you for that. I had a little interaction with Larry's family one time a few years ago that I probably should mention in passing. I used to take students to study abroad trips. I went to France for 5 summers in a row and went to Germany one summer, I think it was 2005, and had a really good time every year. And one year I'm looking over my roster of students coming, and here's this Malota. And so I asked the young fella if he was related to our Larry Malota. He said, "Oh yeah, that's my dad." So anyway, we went to Germany. We had a wonderful time. Got to know Andrew here, the photographer that you probably have seen taking pictures pretty well, and I think he had a good time too. And we came back and bumped into Larry, and I thought he was complimenting me. At first he said, Andrew really enjoyed the trip, said, I think he's learned a lot. I think he's learned an awful lot. And I said, well, make me feel real good there. And he said, no, I mean, I think he's learned an awful lot about beer. So, when you take students to Germany and you teach them about the culture, that's part of it. And I'm glad to know we were successful in part of our mission, okay? And I'm glad to see Andrew this time.
Our Associate Provost and Vice President for Information Technology, Dr. Cantrell, has a few words.
So I get to read the formal proclamation here in a second, but Siobhan's going to unveil it, but I just, this is a really time of mixed feelings, right? We're excited for Larry for going on to a new exciting challenge, even if it is at the University of Georgia. Of course, I went to Georgia Tech. Anyway, and we're really excited that he's doing a new banner implementation and we're not. On the other side, it's a really big loss for us, and I've really appreciated working with Larry my 13 years. And our fun in Y2K and our SIMS Executive Committee meetings at 7 o'clock in the morning, preceding all of that fun. And so we're really going to miss you. So I get to read the official proclamation here and say, whereas Mr. Larry G. Malota has served Texas A&M University with passion and distinction for 33 years and has successfully navigated the implementation of 2 student information systems, including taking one across the Y2K threshold with no problems despite many doomsday predictions. And whereas he served in numerous positions, including programmer, data processing center, systems analyst, DPC, senior systems analyst, DPC, senior systems analyst, SIMS, computer system group manager in SIMS, director, student information management systems, associate director, CIS, and associate director of EIS. Whereas he designed an ingenious system capable of blocking thousands of students from registration.
Genius.
With a single keystroke.
Kara, help.
Whereas he enthusiastically represented Texas A&M as a member or presenter for the Texas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers, the Southern Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers, the American Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers, the Texas Connection Consortium, Information Associates of Texas, SunGuard Educational Technology Association, Voices, and won the 2005 Texas Association of State Systems for Computing and Communications Excellence Award for innovative use of technology in higher ed. And whereas he effectively represented his team on the Computing and Information Services Training Council, the CIS Operations Council, the Academic Operations Committee, the Student Information Management Systems Steering Committee, the Enterprise Information Systems Steering Committee, and the Student System Selection Task Force. And whereas he presided over an organization that is known for a variety of eclectic events. Some of these you've heard about before: the seasonal Christmas tree, the annual chili cook-off, the football and smoking breaks, the Billy Barty conference room, the outlandish Halloween costumes, the Sims Rats baseball team, and the famous Mardi Gras parade. And whereas he has demonstrated the extraordinary fulfillment of Texas A&M's public service mission as an employee by serving in the Brian Noon Optimist Club, the Knights of Columbus Ushers Club, and Adult and Youth Religious Education Team Leader, and whereas he holds the extraordinary distinction of earning the Association of Former Students Distinguished Achievement Award, the President's Meritorious Service Award, as well as the International Student Services Award of Excellence, and whereas he tolerated being told with every cold front, solar flare, thunderstorm, and holiday that his employees heard a rumor that the President was going to send us home early.
And today's one
That
of
is
them.
true. That is true.
And today we have both a thunderstorm and a solar flare. Be it irrefutably resolved that across the university, the Texas A&M University system, community, and state, his customers, peers, colleagues, and staff have expressed profound and heartfelt appreciation for his encouraging and compassionate leadership through his 33-year career at Texas A&M, as well as for his overall service and dedication to the university for the ultimate benefit of the state of Texas and its citizens, and be it further resolved that his many admirers wish Mr. Malota all of life's best as he departs Texas A&M and heads across the mighty Mississippi to become the new Associate Chief Information Officer and Banner Project Coordinator for the University of Georgia at Athens. Given this 24th day of January 2012, on behalf of your devoted colleagues, friends, and staff at Texas A&M. Thank you, Larry.
And now a few words from our, now napping.
I'll try to be as brief as I can. Larry's about the most dedicated employee that I've seen in my career, both here and before, and everything it takes to keep a student system going and continuing to operate, and he's just always there and always available to help us do that. And not having him, I think, as everyone's already expressed, will really be a loss for us. I think putting a new system in like we did with Compass, as you know, was not an easy process over the last 5 or so years, but I think Larry was just very critical in making that happen. He certainly made my job a lot easier in the way he approaches his work, and all of the existing Sims team, and getting them in the right position to help us do this. And really want to thank Larry for everything he's done and wish him the best in Georgia. And I'm glad it, like Pierce said, glad it's Larry going on to implement rather than us having to go through it again. Larry, I want to wish you the next to say a few words.
Wow. Well, boy. Thank you very much. Didn't expect anything like this with the weather the way it is, and everybody coming out for this and wishing me well. It's been quite a ride. It's been 79 again. I want to thank Steve Williams. He's one of the reasons I'm here. You can blame him or thank him, whichever. He was instrumental in hiring me when I was had graduated from A&M and had gone to work for Brown Root in Houston for a couple of years, a year and a half or so, and had an opportunity to come back, and he saw enough in me to hire me on, and I do appreciate that. It's been quite a ride. Wow, I can't believe all people here. Thank you. Sorry. I want to thank everybody. I won't abuse it. I hope I can call on you on occasion to share with the folks over Georgia all the wonderful things that happen here, and the wonderful things people have done in the implementation of what we call Compass, and will not abuse that. And we can share with them that very small tidbit that occasionally, every experience is a positive experience. It's a learning experience. Those things that you might want to reconsider and not do quite that way. We can share that with them also. I don't want to go back through that again. Again, thank you so very much. It's been a wonderful experience. I am going to truly miss everyone that I've come to know and love over here in my 30-plus years. It's been a real family experience. It is that Aggie experience where it's hard to explain when you're here, but it surely is great. I want to take just a moment to introduce you to some of my family that have come over. My youngest, Elizabeth, is not able to be here. She is studying hard, I know, over at Angelo State University in San Angelo. I'm positive of that. Yeah. But I do have my son Andrew, and get up and so everybody can use my daughter Emily. Everybody knows Cindy. Can I have my twin sister Sharon? My younger brother Rodney. My mom, Alice Malota, my mom. And my mother and father-in-law, Jean and Grace Mitchon. Took our time to come out as you all did, and again, I want to thank you so very much. It's you don't know how much it touches me for sure, and touches a person to see so many people take time out of their busy schedules to come and wish me well, and I thank you all. Thank you very much.
gifts for him. This one is from Galveston campus.
Ship that would, show us what it is. It's a queen. The ship that would not die.
And the staff took a collection of what you've seen part of it. These you must open here.
Collection.
Yes.
With this group. Kara?
It's not UGA boxer shorts.
I was expecting that actually. My UGA tie! Yes!
It's reversible for home and away games. They're a little more intense than we are.
Wow. Home and away games. Which is which?
Got me?
One's an
And now I'm getting spammed by UGA. Oh yeah, by more stuff.
So many call stations actually buying UGA stuff. What's that all about? Okay. And, oh no!
It's a Friday shirt.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. The G's for Gene.
Yeah,
Gene.
Larry Gene. Ramesh, did you want to do these? And then this is the departmental gift that we really think that you'll.
Ooh.
Holy cow. Wow. Wow.
Eric's wife went with me to the Benjamin Knox studio, and she looked and she looked, and she saw some things. She saw a picture that had a big tree in front of the academic building where they used to have family picnics because Daddy wasn't coming home from work.
True story.
She and the kids would go, and the kids would run on the steps, and they'd play under this tree. And then she really doesn't see anything that she really thought was the right one until she saw Muster. And she said that he tells the kids all the time, "You better be there for me at Muster."
That is true. When I tell my daughter when I pass, they better be there and answer. Thank you. I think it's, thank you again, everybody. I think it's time to eat, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
fruit, coffee, and punch. Please, please have some. Thank you all for coming out in this bad weather, too.